Previously, Tanjiro's family has been brutally murdered by the Demon King, Muzan. His sister, Nezuko, despite transforming into a demon, retains her humanity and continues to protect humans. Fueled by the desire for revenge, Tanjiro becomes a demon slayer, and along his journey, he meets the timid Zenitsu and the hot-headed Inosuke and the big brother Rengoku. Together, they manage to take down a powerful demon enemy. But another demon called Akaza from the 12 Kazuki, holding the third highest position, appears. He was sent by Muzan. In a flash, Akaza appears before Tanjiro, raising his fist to strike him. But our big brother Rengoku is quick. He pulls out his sword and uses flame-breathing second form, Rising Scorching Sun. It creates a red-hot arc of fire that slices Akaza's arm in half. But then his arm heals up almost instantly. Through his special demon eyes, Akaza can see that Rengoku's fighting spirit is super strong. He figures that Rengoku must be a Hashira, so he offers Rengoku a deal to become a demon, promising he can fight forever because demons don't die like humans. But Rengoku refuses. He says that it's the fact that we live and then we pass away that makes life precious. He would never ever join the demons, no matter what. They clearly can't agree, and a huge battle is about to begin. Akaza uses Blood Demon Art Destructive Death Compass Needle. Akaza manifests a light blue snowflake-shaped compass underneath him. This technique not only shows Akaza how strong his opponent is, but also gives him a big boost in strength and speed. Suddenly, Akaza dashes forward and starts fighting with Rengoku. The fight is so fast and fierce that Tanjiro, who's hurt, can't even see what's happening. All he sees are two streaks of light fighting in a cloud of dust. Akaza throws a flurry of punches, but Rengoku blocks them all with his sword. Then, he cuts into Akaza's wrist with a strong slash. Despite the fight, Akaza still tries to convince Rengoku to become a demon. Rengoku remains unmoved. Angry, Akaza throws another punch, but Rengoku cuts off his arm again. But his arm grows back in no time. Akaza then punches hard, but Rengoku manages to block it with his sword. The force of the punch is so strong it vibrates his entire sword. Suddenly, Akaza throws another punch with his left fist, hitting Rengoku hard. But Rengoku, even though he's in a lot of pain, swings his sword and pushes Akaza back. Akaza floats midair and uses his Blood Demon Art, Destructive Death, Air type. He punches the air so hard that it sends a powerful shockwave flying straight towards Rengoku. Rengoku's entire body shakes from the hit. Meanwhile, Akaza is going wild, throwing punches in midair with manic intensity. With no time to waste, Rengoku retaliates with his fourth form, Blooming Flame Undulation. He swings his blade in a sweeping circular motion, creating a swirl of fiery flames all around him, protecting him like a shield. Akaza's attacks can't get through, so he has no choice but to land back on the ground. Rengoku knows that the only way to defeat Akaza is to get close and cut off his head. Even though it's really dangerous, it's the only way to win. He braces himself, closes the distance, and quickly swings his sword at Akaza. But Akaza dodges perfectly. They are locked in a fiery clash once again. Akaza gets cut and demon blood splatters everywhere. But even while he's hurt, he keeps trying to convince Rengoku to turn into a demon. He tells Rengoku that humans grow old and weak and then die, and that his amazing sword skills would be lost. Meanwhile, Inosuke rushes over, wanting to help Rengoku, but Rengoku shouts at them. He tells them that they're too injured and if they fight again, they could die. Inosuke and Tanjiro have no choice but to watch helplessly. Akaza intentionally moves back to make Rengoku chase him and tire himself out. Rengoku charges at Akaza, sending him flying into the forest with a single sword strike. Rengoku chases him into the forest. Suddenly, Akaza teleports right in front of Rengoku. Rengoku slashes his arm, but Akaza quickly counters by kicking Rengoku away. Tanjiro and Inosuke are really worried for Rengoku now. Rengoku crouches on the ground, panting heavily. His breath is ragged and his body is trembling. Akaza walks over to him and compliments Rengoku, saying that if he were to turn into a demon, they could fight and improve together. As soon as Akaza's done speaking, he grows a new arm. Rengoku rejects Akaza again, firmly repeating that he will never turn into a demon. He gets up and charges at Akaza, using his third form, Blazing Universe. He swings his sword in a big arc. Even after Akaza gets cut, in less than a second, his wounds heal. Akaza uses his Blood Demon Art again, Destructive Death, Air type, and lands a punch straight on Rengoku. Rengoku is pushed back, but he doesn't let the pain stop him. In the blink of an eye, he's back attacking Akaza. Tanjiro and Inosuke can only watch helplessly from the sidelines. They understand that both fighters are really strong, and if they try to help, they just get in Rengoku's way, so they just watch. Akaza throws a punch so hard that it breaks the ground, then he charges at Rengoku. Rengoku retaliates, cutting into Akaza's arm with his sword. Akaza yells at Rengoku, asking him if he wants to die and why he won't turn into a demon, but Rengoku is resolute, refusing to give in to the demons. Akaza punches again, grazing Rengoku's eyebrow and drawing blood. Rengoku uses his first form, Unknowing Fire, cutting off Akaza's arms. But it doesn't matter because Akaza's wounds heal super fast. He throws more punches at Rengoku, who's quickly running out of energy and can only try to block with his sword. Catching Rengoku off guard, Akaza lands a punch in Rengoku's belly. Rengoku is badly hurt, but he fights back, using the move Rising Scorching Sun. Even though it creates a burst of flames, Akaza dodges it perfectly. Akaza swings another punch and Rengoku tries to block it with his sword, but he's exhausted. Akaza lands a punch in Rengoku's left eye, causing him severe pain. Despite being half-blinded, Rengoku doesn't back down. He gives his all, using the flame-breathing fifth form, Flame Tiger, which looks like a tiger made of flames attacking Akaza. At the same time, Akaza uses his move, Destructive Death Disorder, releasing a destructive wave of energy. Their powerful moves clash, and the fight seems evenly matched. After their clash, Rengoku is covered in wounds, blinded in one eye, and his body is shaking from exhaustion. In contrast, Akaza is barely injured. Tanjiro is really worried about Rengoku. He can tell that things are not going well. Akaza tries again to persuade Rengoku to turn into a demon, telling him that humans are weak and it's pointless to fight to the death. If Rengoku were a demon, his injuries would heal in the blink of an eye. But Rengoku's fighting spirit cannot be swayed by Akaza. He decides to stake his life on the fight, and pushes his power to the limit. Akaza looks through his demon eyes and sees Rengoku's fighting spirit burning like a flame. Akaza is taken aback by this. Rengoku picks up his sword. Through his breath, he makes his heart blaze like a roaring fire. Every vein in his body fills with burning flames, making him as powerful as he can possibly be. Akaza is totally shocked. The pressure from Rengoku's fiery power is just too strong. Rengoku uses the ninth form, Rengoku, the most powerful flame-breathing technique. He becomes surrounded by a flame, instantly transforming into a molten fire dragon, and dashes towards Akaza with the speed of light. Akaza uses Destructive Death, Annihilation type. They clash head-on, causing an enormous explosion that shakes the earth and sends dust flying into the sky. In the molten river of flames, Rengoku swings his sword. The first strike slashes Akaza's arm, the second slices through his body. His blade bursts into flames and pierces through Akaza's body. Then Rengoku aims for Akaza's head. His incredible strength causes a swirling tornado of flames. Tanjiro and Inosuke can only watch in awe. When the firestorm subsides, Tanjiro is shocked to see Rengoku has been pierced through by one of Akaza's punches. Akaza is also badly burned, but his wounds quickly heal. He urges Rengoku to become a demon, otherwise he will die. Why would he want to remain human? Rengoku is in a daze. He remembers when he was a child at home. His mother once told him that a person with extraordinary talents must use their power to help those who are weak and in need. It's the duty of those born strong to protect those who are not. Rengoku is determined to fulfill his mother's expectations. With his last bit of strength, he slashes at Akaza's neck with his sword, but he doesn't have enough strength to decapitate him. Just then, Akaza launches a fierce attack, aiming for Rengoku's right eye. In the nick of time, Rengoku blocks with his left hand, controlling Akaza. The sun starts to rise and Akaza is terrified. He wants to escape, but Rengoku has him firmly in his grasp. Rengoku is determined to die together with him. At this critical moment, Tanjiro rushes over. He must cut off Akaza's head before Rengoku sacrifices himself. The sky is already bright, and Akaza is increasingly anxious, but he can't break free from Rengoku's grip. With all his might, Rengoku drives his sword deeper into Akaza. Inosuke rushes to aid them. He leaps into the air, speeding towards Akaza with his sword aimed for the demon's head. He's just a meter away from Akaza when Akaza abruptly cuts off both his arms. He uses a blast of wind to blow Inosuke away, and ignoring the blade stuck in his neck, he dives back to the ground and runs into the forest. Tanjiro chases after him, throwing his sword that accurately pierces through Akaza. Akaza is furious, but he has no choice but to escape. Tanjiro yells at him, calling him a coward and challenging him to stop running. Akaza, infuriated by Tanjiro's words, makes a mental note to settle scores with him someday. Tanjiro cries his heart out. He yells out that Rengoku is far better than Akaza. Rengoku didn't lose. He fought till the end and protected everyone on the train. Rengoku, gravely injured, kneels on the ground. Before dying, he calls Tanjiro to his side. He knows Tanjiro wants to know more about the Hinakami Kagura. Rengoku tells him that back at his family home, there's a diary of the Flame Hashira which might have information on the Hinakami Kagura. He also asks Tanjiro to visit his younger brother and father on his behalf, asking his brother to follow his heart in choosing his path in life, and for his father to take care of his health. Lastly, he acknowledges Nezuko, stating his belief that she can become a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. Just like he has faith that Tanjiro and his friends will become the pillars of the future, he tells Tanjiro, "Go ahead and live with your head held high. No matter how devastated you may be by your own weakness or uselessness, set your heart ablaze." As he's about to pass away, Rengoku sees his mother looking at him. She has a smile on her face and tells him how bravely he fought. With a smile, Rengoku breathes his last breath. It's only then that Zenitsu arrives. He sees big brother Rengoku, who fought till the end, and tears instantly start to fall from his eyes. Inosuke is also really upset, so much so that his boar's head mask fills up with tears. All three of them are incredibly sad. Rengoku's Kasugai Crow, crying, sends the news of his death everywhere. When the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps, Kagaya, hears about his death, he praises Rengoku for being excellent. The Sound Hashira called Tenjin, who's investigating in the Entertainment District arc, also receives the news about Rengoku's death. He can't help but feel surprised that there's a demon out there that even a Flame Hashira couldn't defeat. The name of this anime is Demon Slayer, and next, we'll tell the story of what happens in the Entertainment District arc. Remember to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss it.